experience. Let's jump into the draft, ladies and gentlemen. Here we are, Nemesis Hydra kicking off as Team Blue and Kinetic kicking it off as Team Red. The bans are done. We have the bans coming from Heartache here. He is calling out that Vox. We have just seen him in Europe. Pretty strong anyhow. And Arden is the ban on the other side. Pretty often banned as well. So coming in with that Vox ban and of course also the Arden ban here, what does that open for draft opportunities for the start for Nemesis Hydra Rome?
What Nemesis Hydra is trying to do here with this Vox ban is that they're trying to make sure that as long as the other team doesn't have a later scaling laner, we can secure up this Ringo, this Koshka, and we can make plays happen in the early game. What we're going to try and do is actually finish this match within 15 minutes.
So that will be pretty quick. Could be a team secret move. We have the bans. We have the first draft here. Heartache, he is going to call out the Catherine on their side. Kinetic, they feel comfortable with the Sky and the Blackfeather pick. Forecourt Jester, what do you think about that so far here? Facing, I mean, Nemesis Hydra opening that with a Catherine, picking Blackfeather and Sky into that. Do you think like Kinetic has a chance just by looking at this now?
Well, Husky has played 7 Catherine games in the VGL all the way up to this third place match. So taking away the Catherine, and I believe you said there was an Arden band there. I mean, those are the only supports that he's played. So This is going to be like a first for Huskies. You know, does he actually have a third hero in his pocket? Now, taking away the Vox as well, Fear Poseidon, we've seen great things. So going with the Blackfeather for the lane and the Sky for the jungle, I think it's a really strong start.
Alright, Heartache, he is calling for Nemesis Hydra, Ringo and Castrol to round up their pick here for the first match. On the other hand side, Kinetic, what are they forced? Like, they can pick Adagio or Fortress, couldn't they? And they go for the Fortress pick, Tasty Bacon Fortress. I think I haven't seen him for a couple of while, and do you think Kinetic, as Forecourt Jester said, forcing them out of that Rome position here, do they have a chance or did they get outdrafted so far from the paper?
I'm really not liking the Fortress pick, to be completely honest. It's that really big early game emphasis whenever you have Fortress coming out in the Rome position, but you usually want it with a really early game team. Whereas, Kinetic, they picked it up on their last rotation after already grabbing 2, more late game oriented heroes. So it's a little confusing to me that they would go ahead and grab the Fortress with Sky and Blackfeather, but they know more about it than I do. They're the ones that make it work. They've gotten to the third place game, so they are much better players than I am, but we'll have to see if they can make it work here against Nemesis.
Alright, so any last thoughts from our analyst? We are jumping in the meantime into the fold.
Yeah, just a quick note, and the thing is, with Sky and Fortress here is they do have a chance to jump onto this Kestrel Catherine coming out of the Nemesis jungle. But I'm kind of doubting in terms of how much experience they have and to be able to avoid the Catherine stun and the arrows coming out of this Kestrel. So I think they will have a lot of trouble into this game, and hopefully they do stick around long enough to be able to carry later on. And I'll throw it off to the guys to cast the game away.
All right, thank you very much, Rome, and we are on to the fold for game number 1 here in our third place matchup, and already we're going to be seeing some early aggression down in the jungle.
Lost Boy Toff did some amazing things with Catherine yesterday. We're going to have to see what he can do about it today. Already this early engage, you said that Fortress, maybe not going to be the best, but this early aggression with those forward barrages, the level 2 on Bonfire for the Series Strikes, have really just dished out a lot of damage here upon the Nemesis Hydra team. So when it comes down to that first fight, good edge coming out to Kinetic. Now Fear Poseidon, he's going to put some damage here as well on top of Heartache, and again, it's just a lot of hit point trading already, a lot of action. This is for qualification, remember. You get third place in this first, and you are going to go to the esports arena come up in March.
Yeah, and right now we're seeing some more aggressive trading coming out of them in the lane here. Husky's Rock is extremely low on this. Probably my favorite skin to come out, at least in recent memory. The winter skin for Fortress. Gift Wrapped Fortress, I believe is the name of it. As now Hardik is actually going to be going down, and that is a gift wrapped kill going over to Bonfire.
Yeah, that was actually a really nice capitalization right there because, again, like, with this early aggression, you have to make it work. If you're going to go Fortress, you got to make those plays early. And yeah, it's not a Koshka, it is a Sky, but still, those forward barrages, when they hit, they can hit really hard. The clear is not going to be really that bad when it comes to living out the opponent's jungle or looking for some of these fights. And Bonfire level 3 already. I mean, like, he's got the big stake in this early aggression in terms of damage.
And so we're seeing a lot of attention being paid onto the lane from both teams as Nemesis was expecting the return gank and immediately moved everyone into position to sort of counter that out. And Husky's Rock is spending a lot of time up here with Fear Poseidon, wanting to make sure that Fear Poseidon doesn't really get completely bullied by this Ringo, but it's forcing Lost by Toph to then have to do the same thing.
Now, there is something to note here. We don't actually have Fear Poseidon playing Blackfeather in any of our games so far here in the league. Husky, I mean, he's going forward. They're trying to make this work again, but that might actually be something of... no, I mean, he is getting babysat quite a bit. You said maybe so he doesn't get smashed. We don't actually have Fear Poseidon on record playing Blackfeather here.
Yeah, of course, we don't have Husky's Rock playing this Fortress either, so two first-time heroes for Kinetic, at least in the VGL. I mean, you have to assume that, to be at this level of play, you've played pretty much every hero at least once. But meanwhile, down in the jungle, Chicken is going to pick up one kill, a very close to an answer from Bonfire, as both Lost by Toph and Chicken are extremely low. Bonfire just going to try and steal away some of these back camps, though. He does get one of them, and this isn't over yet. Bonfire could still turn this around.
Well, Bonfire has not gotten hit by a Glimmer Shot yet. The lane pressures are still there, so there's nobody to come down to, capitalize to look for a Bonfire kill. Toph is just actually going to give this one up. Chicken did not hit any of those Glimmers, and, well, Husky, he took a little bit of a dirt nap, but now he's already back into lane. He's going to chase Hardik out. One kill apiece, and Sky will actually live. Did take away a good chunk of that farm, and now he's going to find Chicken. Forward barrage for Glimmer Shots. Well, there's one. There's no. Chicken does not have the right idea. He is not able to find the kill. It looks like they're going to bounce off each other.
Yeah, that was really great from Bonfire. Moving around the map in not quite standard ways to dodge out those predicted Glimmer Shots. There's only so much you can do for Chicken on this Kestrel without having the vision. So was just trying to take guesses as to where he thought Bonfire was going to be, and Bonfire, one step ahead of him, was able to steal away those back camps and get out with his life in what looked like it could have been a really bad situation for Kinetic. So they turned that around nicely, and we're back to focusing on the lane.
Now, it's also rather interesting here, assuming that Kinetic actually doesn't die. Lost Boy Toph is just going to be able to pop that, use the Storm Guard, no problem. We don't actually have a Hardik on record of playing Ringo in the league either. So both players have actually played each other's heroes, but they've never actually played these ones. Hardik making it look good, though. There's a big stun. Here comes the one shot, and that's going to be it for the Blackfeather. Looking for the second on top of Huskies, but they don't get it. And Hardik, again, we don't have a game recorded for him on Ringo. Made it look easy. We don't have games recorded as Blackfeather here for Poseidon. Now here comes Bonfire. He's going to do a Surrey Strike, but I don't think this turret's going to live through it. Lost Boy Toph, however, he's looking for a stun. He'll find it. Big damage on top of Bonfire, but it was actually Hardik that did go down. The Huskies came back into it. Forward barrage again, and they're going to find Toph. They paid really heavily for that turret.
Yeah, and they do get the turret, but like you said, paying heavily with the kills, but there's not really a whole lot for Kinetic to pick up off of that. They're going to get the gold mine very likely, unless it gets stolen, which it doesn't. And Chicken so close to a couple more kills, but the gold mine being the answer that Nemesis Hydra gives up after taking down the turret. In that instance, I would say that Nemesis definitely got the better of the trade. The gold mine didn't quite have the full 300 payout, so it was more gold in Nemesis' pocket, and they have the ability to take this gold mine back very quickly when they do, if they do decide to and get an opportunity.
Well, I mean, it was a good capitalization from Kinetic. They were able to get 2 kills for the turret and then the gold mine. Overall, they still will remain ahead in terms of the gold, but it's a very small lead at this point, 200 or so. It is in a state of flux right now. It does swing anywhere from, I think, 800 down to parity. Depends on where these creep minions are at this point. And we do got Bonfire here. He is level 8, highest in the game right now, but Hardek, who are they going to jump? Like, Lost Boy Top is presenting himself as the target. You don't really want to jump him. He has the Storm Guard up, but, well, I guess that was enough. There was just enough bait, the Black Feather too far forward, and that is going to be 1 kill, possibly even 2. We got the burning Huskies into the back. Doesn't actually look like it's going to be enough. Nope, number shot though, to the face, does put him down, and the death from above will force now Nemesis Hydra back a bit. But man, 2 kills, another half a turret, and they're going to get this entire back now as well. Nemesis Hydra could easily sweep for that gold mine you're talking about.
Yeah, they are definitely starting to take control of this game. The gold lead still isn't huge because of the fact that the gold miner was picked up by Kinetic earlier, but after getting that teamfight victory, it's a lot of it is the positioning. They're just kind of lining up for Chicken to mow them down with these glimmer shots, hitting multiple targets for huge bursts of damage, and now the gold mine's going to be stolen away, so that is going to add to this gold lead, bringing it up to around 1,000 gold in favor of Nemesis, and now they found Huskies.
Ooh. Yeah, great snipe on the back of a stun, and now the collapse. That is 1 dead dog right there, and it looked like Hardek, I mean, he took a good chunk of damage out of it, but he will live through this. Sky is actually back at town. Just came out of a backing. No positioning here really to do any kind of defense. She is going to surge forward, though, looking for a death from above. Gonna go really wide though. The turret's now down. I don't think Fear Poseidon can really fight this. And Bonfire, if he goes too far deep, he might find a stun and then him as well up for dinner.
Yeah, Chicken with this blue Kestrel build, the Crystal Power build, means that there's just so much damage coming out of the really everything she does, but especially the back end of those glimmer shots. Just really putting some huge burst onto the lines of Kinetic. And like I said, it definitely just looks like Nemesis Hydra is starting to take over the match. They've gotten... they've been able to steal away a lot of the jungle of Kinetic, so denying them gold, while of course picking up 2 turrets now already in the first 9 minutes of the game. And this Fortress pick really hasn't been impressing me much at all.
It looked good, you know, let's call it 6 minutes ago, you know, and turrets were still standing and we weren't actually dying one by one by one. But Nemesis Hydra, this is a big team. I mean, they went so far in the finals, and Lost Boy Top just leading the charge right into that again already. Fear Poseidon down to half. Huskies looking real low there as well. And I don't really think they can re-engage on top. They're looking for Hardek though. Poseidon is actually not even going to get Hardek. It will be a double, and now the snipe is going to bring down Bond to half, and the glimmer shots just not entirely too sure will be there, but a 2 for 0, and Hardek is still alive. How does he do it? 2-0, it's not looking good for Kinetic.
Yeah, Hardek was dropped so incredibly low, but there was just not enough bleeding applied by Husky's Rock there to secure that kill, and he was able to get far enough away that he wasn't a target for Bonfire. And this lead is just slowly expanding. It's up to about 2,000 gold now with a 7-3 kill advantage in favor of Nemesis. And, you know, it's not even all on Chicken. Chicken is 2-0-4. Yeah, it's a lot of burst damage coming from Kestrel, but it's really Hardek on this Ringo who's been finishing off the kills. And I was actually told we do have 1 Ringo game previously for Hardek. It was in their the 3rd game against Halcyon Hammer's Force that he pulled out. Wasn't terribly impressive. I believe it was 7, 5, and 9. But he's doing much better here in this game, as now they're looking for another fight, but Lost by Top's taken very low.
Yeah, he needs to get those fountains going. He has the Storm Guard up, and Ringo again finishes off this Black Feather. They didn't get a kill for it either. There's no turrets. Sky's going to try to make a do or die, and just ends up dying for it. Chicken with the glimmer shot as well. The camo at the last second, there was nothing for the Fortress to do. The regen's going to come through that ace. That's another turret, and we're looking now just down to the crystal at 11 minutes into the game, Bacon.
Yeah, and this is what I was talking about during the pick ban phase. You know, Blackfeather is so late game focused, and his late game power has been delayed by picking up that tier 3 defensive item in the Atlas Pauldron. So, you know, just having a Shiver Steel and an Atlas Pauldron, there's no real damage coming from the side of Kinetic. Even Bonfire is pretty much their biggest damage source, has a Frost Burn, and doesn't have the Broken Myth finish. So we saw it really put on display in that last fight. They just could not actually finish off the kills, and it's costing them their lack of damage. You compare it to the builds of Nemesis. You have a Sorrow Blade and now double infusions picked up by Hardek, along with the Tornado Trigger. Then you have on this Kestrel, it's the Frostburn and the Broken Myth completed. So just a lot more damage being prioritized by Nemesis, and it's paying out in spades for them.
Gold payout once more. That's actually the first, I believe, payout now is Nemesis Hydra on the back of that. They just get in and get out. One more kill. Fear Poseidon, can you get out of this one? The stuns will land on top of top, but here comes the Hellfire Brew. It's not going to be a Crystal Power Hardek, though, so it will just be used to keep these guys on their toes. The minions are going to be moving in. We don't even have a Kraken to go for at this point. Can we go for a turret? No, there's going to be Huskies coming back into this one. But 11-3, and you can see that the killing power here is really starting to stack up from Nemesis.
Yeah, that's 11-3, as you just mentioned. Now they're going to take the minion mine as well. You know, the double infusions from Hardek being used to just really try and keep this pressure up. There's nothing for Kinetic to take other than these lane minions, as they have to play so safe for fear of Nemesis Hydra being lurking in any of these brushes. But Nemesis, they're just sitting back, clearing out their own jungle, just extending this gold lead even further, and now they're going to find a fight.
Well, they're going to find Huskies, so he's up, he's down. There's a big snipe there on top of Fear Poseidon as well, and he's not going to get any kind of support because Huskies is already down, and that is going to leave you with Bonfire, who is actually at half. Chicken's going to find him. Glimmer shots, one. There we go. Hardek will come over, shows her how it's done with a hit to the face, and that is, again, another quick 3-0. Huskies just is melting. The Fortress is not as durable as a Catherine, as this Arden, and it's starting to really show here.
Yeah, Huskies rock. Just again, this Fortress pick, it had me scratching my head when it was locked in, and it still is. I'm not really sure what they were going for with it. 1-8-1 for Huskies rock. It's just the unconventional pick, and this is one of the things you have to worry about in draft mode is, you know, champion or the hero pools. And Nemesis Hydra, they're just going to look to finish this game here, and there's not enough damage. They can't stop this.
No, it's already over. The crystal's already down. Nemesis Hydra with a score of 15-4 takes the game before the 15-minute mark. There's no Kraken here. There's not even a